Continuing with rule number 3 from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules from Life. This section of rule number 3 is titled Teenage Wasteland. And I apologize for the wastes that are coughing and doing their drugs outside my apartment building. If we weren't circling around town and countryside, we were at a party. Some relatively young adult or some relatively creepy older adult. That's not cool. He didn't need to do that. What, I can't have kids over here and have a party? Would open his house to friends. It would then become temporary home to all manner of party crashers, many of whom started out seriously undesirable or quickly became that way when drinking. A party might also happen accidentally when some teenager's unwilling parents had left town. In that case, the occupants of the cars or trucks always cruising around would notice house lights on, but house light car absent. This was not good. Things could get seriously out of hand. I did not like teenage parties. I do not remember them nostalgically. They were dismal affairs. The lights were kept low. That kept self-consciousness to a minimum. The over-loud music made conversation impossible. There was little to talk about in any case. There were always a couple of town psychopaths attending. Everybody drank and smoked too much. A dreary and oppressed sense of aimlessness hung over every such occasion, and nothing ever happened. Unless you count the time my too quiet classmate drunkenly began to brandish his fully loaded 12-gauge shotgun, or the time the girl I later married contemptuously insulted someone while he threatened her with a knife, or the time another friend climbed a large tree, swung out on a branch, and crashed flat onto his back, half dead right beside the campfire we had started at its base, followed precisely 1 minute later by his half-wit sidekick. No one knew what the hell they were doing at these parties, hoping for a cheerleader, waiting for a Godot, although the former would have been immediately preferred, although cheerleading squads were scarce in our town. The latter was closer to the truth. It would be more romantic, I suppose, to suggest that we would have all jumped at the chance for something more productive, poor out of our skulls as we were, but it's not true. We were all too prematurely cynical and world-weary and leery of responsibility to stick to the debating clubs and air cadets and school sports that the adults around us tried to organize. Doing anything wasn't cool. I don't know what teenage life was like before the revolutionaries of the late 60s advised everyone young to tune in, turn on, and drop out. That was Timothy Leary who came up with that phrase. Was it okay, but he didn't quote him there. Was it okay for a teenager to be wholeheartedly in a club in 1955? Because it certainly wasn't 20 years later. Plenty of us turned on and dropped out, but not so many tuned in. I wanted to be elsewhere. I wasn't the only one. Everyone who eventually left the Fairview I grew up in knew they were leaving by the age of 12. I knew, my wife, who grew up with me on the street of the family share, knew, the friends I had who did and didn't leave also knew, regardless of which track they were on. There was an unspoken expectation in the families of those who were college-bound that such a thing was a matter of course. For those from less educated families, a feature that included university was simply not part of the conceptual realm. It wasn't for a lack of money either. Tuition for advanced education was very low at that time, and jobs in Alberta were plentiful and high-paying. I earned more money in 1980 working at a plywood mill than I would again at any time for the next 20 years. No one missed out on university because of financial need in oil-rich Alberta in the 1970s. That was from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules from Life. 12 Rules for Life. That was from rule number 3, which is titled "Make friends with people who want the best for you." It's a lesson that I wish I would have learned, and I'm learning it now. You want to surround yourself with people that want the best for you. This guy outside my window, he doesn't want the best for me. I don't want to surround myself with people like him. But you surround yourself around people that want the best for you, so when you tell them good news, they're happy for you. They're not jealous or angry or upset. But if you like the reading, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And go ahead and check out my own book. It's called Gonzo Education. There's a video of it on this channel of me reading it. Thanks again, and have a nice day.